We're live, ladies and gentlemen. It's the MLB Guardcast, now alongside the Network 216. I am Mike Vorhies. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, and congrats on not being traded today, Bryan Shaw. Welcome in, sir. It is trade deadline day, and it's now almost 6:30. I think we're in the clear.
We are in the clear. We're at our new home on Network 216.
Are we in the clear? Yes.
We are in reverse order. So hang on. Let's see if I can fix this.
You like that better. There you go. I just wanted to be on the left just once. And we did that. So we'll take that. It's all good. I love it. Fans, I was going to wear some black today in honor of a death for the Guardians, but decided not to. Went and rocked the Guards blue here. So the trade deadline is I think over. I know some minor stuff's going to trickle in. It always does. Fax machines run slow nowadays as the teams announce their trades. But the Guardians did, in fact, made not one, not two, but three moves today. One being minor, a second one not being as big, but probably we'll start with the biggest news of the day. Right-handed pitcher, Shane, don't call me Justin Bieber, is gone. Traded to the Toronto Blue Jays for their fifth prospect. And you're his name because it just escaped me. It's Cal something. I can't think
Cal
of his
Steven.
name. Cal,
looks like Stefan, but it is Steven.
Yes, so he'll be here. He is an A-ball pitcher, 9-1 with a 2.08 earned run average. So we could have a diamond in the rough, folks. We'll have to keep an eye out. He will report to Double-A Akron Rubber Ducks. Can't wait to see what he can do. Then the minor trade, reliever who's currently on the injured list, Paul Sewald, traded to the Detroit Tigers. I don't understand these interdivision trades. I don't want to play against Sewald because we're going to tattoo him anyway, but he's gone. He goes to Detroit, and we get the greatest return in the history of baseball, the player to be named later. So we don't know who that'll be.
It's not cash considerations. It's not straight cash, homie.
No, cash is like is second, I think, on the list. But player to be named later. And then we made a minor picking up reliever from the Tigers because they had to DFA some players to open up some roster spots. They let Carlos Hernandez, who is a reliever. The Guardians gobbled him up. So we'll kind of wait and see what that'll do. Brian, do you have some info on Mr. Hernandez?
Yeah, nothing really jumps out as like, ooh, this is a good one. He has a 6.6 ERA on the season in 36 games for both the Tigers and Phillies. In the past, he had a decent year last year for the Royals. He had spent most of his career with the Royals, had a 3.3 ERA last year at 30 innings pitched. So, maybe the pitching factory can do something with him and find a little bit of a diamond in the rough with this guy. But yeah, a minor move amongst the moves. You had talked about interdivision trade with Paul Sewald. Honestly, the fact that they got more than I said a carton of floss for him. He's on the injured list.
I'd have taken a bucket of balls. I mean, I would have taken that.
He's on the injured list. He's not going to return until September. I can't believe they were able to move him like that. That's a steal.
I think Detroit was in panic mode. Tarek Skubal is not going to get the job done for the Tigers. He can't pitch every day. So they need help. And their bullpen has kind of looked shaky. So Detroit had to make some moves. The big one, though, for the Guards fans, Stephen Kwan didn't go anywhere. I just want to throw that out there. It is now 6:32 Eastern time. Stephen Kwan is still a Cleveland Guardian. He will lead off and play left field on Friday night against the AAA Minnesota Twins affiliate because the Twins pretty much dissected their entire team. They are currently for sale. somebody said they were $440 million in debt, and I think they have cut that unbelievably.
Just
Carlos
an absolute purge
Correa's
of their
gone.
team.
Like, yeah,
Everybody's
they just waved the white flag and said, season over. We can't catch the Guardians. We can't catch the Royals. We can't catch the Tigers. We're done. We're throwing in the towel. So the Twins trade 9 players. 9. That's insane. The whole back end of their bullpen gone. Their starting first baseman gone. Starting shortstop gone. Just unbelievable. Yeah, some teams got better. The Padres go all in. All in. I've never seen a trade deadline with one team just pretty much saying it's all or nothing. And that's the Padres right now. They get Ryan O'Hearn. They get Ramon Laureano. They got I'm sure there's some pitchers in there too. Like I'm not going to run through every single trade. It's insane. But
it was a lot
of Brian,
action,
how do you feel
in the last couple of hours?
How do you feel about the trade? Let's talk a little Shane Bieber a little bit. How do you feel? I know I was crushed when you sent me the text. So I didn't want to believe it. I knew it was coming, but I didn't want to believe it. So how do you
It's twofold. I'm sad that Shane's going to be not with the team. I'm sad that the team isn't good enough this year, that he is going to be able to play in the last part of the season and into the playoffs. That's what I am sad about in terms of that. Now, where they are, I get that he got traded. I'm also sad that apparently he doesn't want to sign an extension with Cleveland. He wants to test free agency and go out so who he's going to opt out of his contract and test free agency. So with those things, it made sense. You have to move him. You know, you're not going to compete. You brought him back for, I think it was 10 million this year. And you spent 10 million allowing him to rehab here and allowing him to rebuild himself. And you were going to hope to do with him what you did with Matt Boyd last year. Unfortunately, you didn't get to that point where he was going to be able to play here. So then you end up getting a really nice prospect for him in return. But essentially, you're paying $10 million for a prospect. That's essentially what you did. And like I mentioned earlier, the Sewald trade, I can't believe they got anything for him. What I am more surprised by than anything is that they didn't do more selling. Given what's happened with Class A and the gambling investigation, I'm surprised Jacob Junis is still on this team. I'm surprised Carlos Santana is still on this team. I'm surprised if you were able to move Paul Sewald on the injured list, nobody wanted to take a look at Lane Thomas for a player to be named later.
I think you had said it before we went live, and I'll let you say what you said. We had a comment come in. Are you guys shocked that Santana didn't get traded? Yes, I'm stunned, especially since we traded Paul Sewald. I assumed that Carlos would be going. But you said, Brian, you feel what now? You think who said no to trading Carlos Santana?
Oh, that could be a Jose thing. That could totally be a Jose thing. It's very possible that Jose said, do not trade Carlos Santana. I want him on this team. I want his help in his leadership. And, at the end of the day, it's just money. It's whatever. And I get fans want to see more Kyle Manzardo. I absolutely get that.
Yeah, Manzo's got to play.
He hasn't played against lefties, and that'll probably continue to be the case. So it could be that, Jose stepped in there and wanted his buddy on the team and wanted him to stay on the team. You remember back in 2023 when you had Bell and Savali traded, and there was basically a mutiny in the locker room, and the team had to come in and talk to those guys. But I am surprised. I know you're surprised they didn't do moves to improve. I'm not really surprised by that. I think with the Class A thing and with the other teams in the wild card, just like really, really going for it, I think their focus is more on next year and the year after. I don't think that they think that they're going to catch those teams, even though they're 2.5 out, which, by the way, on when was that tweet? When did I send that out? On
Here
July
we go.
13th?
We got 10 minutes and 20 seconds into this episode. We got 10 minutes and 20 seconds into this episode before Brian wants to toot his own horn because Swami said something and it came true. So
it came true
ahead,
by half
Swami.
a game.
Share, Swami. What did you tweet?
I said they were going to win. What was it? 9 of the next 14.
Yep.
I have to find it. Yeah, I think it was 9 of the next 14.
And they finished 54 and
54 and 54. They would be 2 games out of the wild card, and they were going to be sellers. Because I phrased it as in, at that time, there's a big Manzardo stings. Manzardo should play every day. The fan base was fighting. And I said, if you think this new Manzardo war is bad, just wait until they sell when they're 500 and they're on a hot streak and they're 2 games out of the wild card. And there's people on Twitter getting mad about trading Paul Sewald. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm not getting upset about Sewald. I'm more upset that we didn't do anything to improve this team.
I understand.
Slightly. I'm not saying we needed to go out and get a big player, but we could have gotten a minor piece to help. Hello, we have a gaping hole at catcher. We have a gaping hole in right field. We have our closer is pretty much done for the season. We may need an extra arm when it matters. They've got all the faith in the world that they've got minor leaguers that are going to be able to come up and help. Then they're going to need to promote
let's see them.
Exactly. That's exactly what that's what I was going to say. So before we get any further, we got to talk about our contest real quick.
Okay.
So since we joined Network 216, we are going to do a $25 giveaway. You get a gift card, okay? Your choice of gift card. You can go anywhere you want. You want McDonald's, you want Chipotle, you want Dairy Queen, whatever you're in the mood for. You may want a Walmart gift card. I don't know. Here's how you win. You have to subscribe
this video on either Network 216 or on the MLB Guardcast YouTube. Both places. It's possible.
You have to subscribe, and comment correctly who is the player that I'm most frustrated that we did not acquire at the trade deadline, who was moved to another team. Haven't said it yet. If you're waiting, haven't said it yet. I will now.
Right. Well, wait, but before you get to that, I want people to listen to one more thing because I want them to stick around for this.
Yes,
I don't want them to drop off after you.
So guess what? We're gonna have a little bit of fun. I'll say something by the end of the episode. Oh, now there you go. Now you don't know who it is. Now you have to listen. cheap little ploy right there.
All right, I'll say 2 things. What I would have liked was there was a rumor. It didn't end up happening. They weren't moved, but there was a rumor and that Tampa was potentially going to trade Brandon Lau and Yandy Diaz, and they both have options for next year. And I thought both of those guys would be nice additions for us. Now, Yandy could have, added to the logjam at first base, but Brandon Lau's kind of like that Swiss Army knife that the Guardians really, really like, and could play second base.
Yeah, he's a second baseman and an outfielder.
Yeah, so plays right field.
That would have helped.
I think he would have been a really nice addition, but they didn't end up getting moved. What I really wanted to say,
Diaz actually got hit by a pitch last night and had to leave the game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, Yandy Diaz got hit by a pitch last night, had to leave the game, did not return. That may have something to do with it. No one wants to trade for somebody that's injured. So physicals have to get passed. But there were several players that we could have acquired, and we chose to stand pat, Brian. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the Guardians are like, hey, you know what? We're going to sell these 2 pieces. Yeah, we're going to pick somebody up that was DFA'd, but we're not going to make any trade to get us over this mediocre season.
I think they're doing what they say that they always do. They're threading the needle. They traded 2 guys that weren't helping you, 2 guys that were injured, and 2 guys that are ended up having $26 million in options for next season that no longer will be on the books for next season. Now, the reality is neither of those options were going to get picked up. Shane Bieber is going to opt out. Now, they would have had to have paid him, I think it was $4 million if he opt out. So they don't have to pay that $4 million now. And then Sewald also had a mutual option. I'm sure the Guardians were not going to pick that up, but then that would have been $1 million that they would have had to have paid him for that buyout for that option. So that's $5 million that by trading those guys, they don't have to pay out for those options, and the $26 million is not on the books. So I think they don't want to send a message to the guys that they don't believe in them. I think that the message is we believe in you for the rest of the season. And if you guys that we have can make a run, fantastic. But I also don't think that they want to mortgage anything for future right now, given the Class A situation, not being able to trade Class A specifically and get the haul that teams got for relievers.
Oh, we could have had a killing if we traded him.
I don't think that they felt this year was the buyer year for them.
Now, there was a lot of trades. I mean, trades are still popping in on my phone. I know they're kind of late, At least the one thing, Ohtani's not on a plane, and Aaron Judge didn't change teams, so we're good there.
Well, that's what I wanted to address, and it's specifically those things: the arson Judge to the Giants, Ohtani's on a plane to Toronto. Mark Feinsand had said yesterday, I believe it was, that the Guardians were actively trying to move Stephen Kwan, and then John Morosi had said today that the Guardians that Kwan was going to be very likely to be traded. Like those were his words.
Trade was imminent or something like that. Yeah.
And those end up being lies, just straight up lies. So what
have you told me? What have you told me, Brian, since when we ever started doing this? What did you tell me come trade deadline day?
Well,
the Guardians don't release this information.
Things. Yes.
No.
They don't leak stuff. The Andrés Jimenez trade, nobody had a clue that was happening. Picking up Lane Thomas.
Josh Naylor trade, nobody knew that was coming.
Well, people speculated.
But they didn't leak it, is what I'm saying.
But also, I don't think the Diamondbacks were ever mentioned as a suitor for Josh Naylor. So, yes, the Guardians don't let those things get out. But also, you have to think about who is benefiting from letting that out. Like what agent, what team, why, and all of those things. And for those who don't know me, I spent 14 years in broadcasting. I spent 14 years in news. And like this MLB thing, these reporters, they're being fed by agents. This information is being fed by agents, especially the MLB guys, the MLB.com guys. Like they want you to watch their show. They want you to watch the MLB trade show, and they want Dodgers fans to be watching and hoping that they're going to trade for Stephen Kwan. They want Padres fans in California to be hoping they're going to trade for Stephen Kwan. And because of, like I said, those guys being the ones that said, oh, well, it's arson Judge. I'm joking about the arson Judge thing, but it was wrong. Judge wasn't going to the Giants. Ohtani wasn't on a plane. And like those reporters have not been held accountable for any of that. So find the guys that have more credibility. Your Ken Rosenthal's,
even Jeff Passan.
Jeff Passan, love. Sometimes a little annoying. Jeff Passan, or the beat reporters for the team, Zach Meisel. Listen to what those guys are saying. If they're saying they're hearing from the team or with sources that they have from the team that they're likely not going to trade Kwan, believe that more. But we had 2 full days of fans having fits of sports talk, just ranting and raving about how stupid it would be to trade Stephen Kwan. And if they trade Stephen Kwan, they're never going to be fans again, and they're never going to go to the game again. And the Dolans are cheap, and da-da-da-da. And you had these Twitter accounts with blue checks that get paid to have interaction, posting memes and, talking about how same thing. They'll never go to a game again, and just ranting and raving for 2 days for nothing. It didn't happen.
I was
All
one of
that
those.
energy spent.
I believed what I read, and I remember texting you, and I'm like, listen, if they trade Stephen Kwan, do you realize that stadium's going to be empty? No one's going to go to Progressive Field.
And I'm sure that was a factor.
They won't.
But also, hang on, was Cade Smith traded?
No.
So it was a rumor. Was
Forever.
Daniel Schneemann traded?
Nope. Rumor.
Oh, so that was a rumor too.
Yep.
Think about all these guys that were talked about as potential trades, and none of them were moved. Like we heard, and the Class A one, I do believe he probably would have been traded Class A, because look at what the reliever market was, and the amount of prospects and guys that were coming back, 4 closers, 4 relievers, and if it's the one thing that the Guardians do well, it is develop pitching. And you have Trevor Stephan that's going to be eventually coming back, and Sam Henches that's going to come back, and Andrew Walters who's going to come back. Like, you've had a lot of injuries this year to your relievers, so you clearly want depth. But my point is that long term, you expect a lot of those guys to continue to improve and contribute and can be a solid part of this bullpen. So I do believe that Class A would have been traded, and it's really unfortunate that we are in the situation, partially, I think, with the moves and the trade, because of this investigation. So I think now is a good time to talk about that as well, about this whole gambling investigation and Ortiz in Class A.
Yeah, so the news broke, I believe it was Monday late morning, that Emmanuel Clase was being investigated by the gambling for gambling or participating in in-game bets and all of that. Joins Luis Ortiz being put on the restricted list, which basically means he's suspended through the end of August. Completely shocked me. You know that I thought something was wrong when Emmanuel Clase pitched in both games of a doubleheader,
and
then wanted to pitch again. He was warming in the bullpen had the Guardians come back and needed him in that final game.
Yeah,
that was odd to me.
Yeah,
I wonder if they knew.
Well,
I wonder
allegedly
if
they had an idea.
Yeah.
Which, so, I want to know what we haven't heard is, why did they have an idea? Like, was there requests or information, or like what made them think that? That's what we don't know.
Yeah,
and
we
also,
haven't heard any reports.
I want to be clear. What we know right now, what MLB has given the fans, has given the public, is basically nothing. Well, I take that back. There were reports about the Ortiz and specific pitches, and
there were and we had videos and all that. Which
there's specific pitches,
that's what they're going from.
And there was a high amount of bets placed on those specific pitches, which were first inning balls, and then there were some sleuths on some spiked pitches for Class A, and they're assuming it's the same thing. The thing is, at least right now, from what we know, MLB has not made a connection to the winners of those bets, to a payment, a phone call, we haven't been told that there is a connection to those people and to that high amount of betting. It's just a circumstantial. Well, the investigation was that the sports books reached out to MLB and said, hey, these specific pitches on people betting on a first pitch ball, there was more than usual. There was a higher amount than usual in 3 different states. So 3 different states was the bets. And then Class A got added later. The Class A getting added later thing makes me think, and again, I'm speculating, I don't know, MLB hasn't said anything, makes me think that there is some sort of snitching, whistleblowing going on.
Yeah,
that would be that could be the nail in the coffin for one or either of them. But also, we were told that there was going to be resolution to this already. We initially were told that it was going to be the All-Star break, and then they extended the time and suspended them longer. So initially, that made me think, well, they don't have anything concrete then. They're still investigating. There's nothing. If they had already had at this point, like I said, a check, a Venmo, a phone call, a text, the people playing the bets were Ortiz's brother or cousin or somebody. Like if there was a relationship, the ban hammer would have already come down. So that means they're still looking for that hard evidence, it feels like.
Yeah, so, I think, it is strange. I was shocked when I heard the news. Now we just get to see Cade Smith in the closer role. He didn't have a great first night as our closer, but I think that's okay. Those things are going to happen.
But that was also on the same day it was announced, and I'm sure that was a really tough day for the team.
Guys were shaken. Of course, I think Hunter Gaddis will get a look. I'm sure Matt Festa will close a game or two because he's done everything else for the Guardians this year. It could be Jacob Junis closing a game. Who knows? It is what it is. It's going to be a closer by committee, I think, until somebody steps forward and is able to carry that torch, so to speak, till the end of the season. It rocked the team, obviously, and it showed. They lost to the Colorado Rockies, a team that we should have swept, no problem. That team is bad. They're not good.
Well, they're going to be playing another team that might be worse at this point coming up here.
Yeah, I said that the Minnesota Twins AAA affiliate will take the field Friday night in Cleveland. Not sure what is going to happen tomorrow. I expect a slew of roster moves by multiple teams, adding the players that they acquired in trades and moving guys to the major league roster and sending guys out. It's going to be so much fun to get the transaction log at the end of the day, because I'm sure it's going to be miles long with just all the moves that they're making.
Like this is going to come to a head. This whole thing, as MLB as a whole, is going to come to a head with this next collective bargaining agreement, which I believe ends after next year. Is that correct? 2026 is the last year.
Correct.
The fact that the Twins are $400 million in debt, had to purge their whole roster, and are for sale, basically can't field the team. Like MLB has to figure that out. The revenue share clearly isn't right in terms of the Dodgers, the Yankees.
The rumor is they're going to propose a salary cap and a salary floor so that everything is even and equal. I don't see this getting voted on. I really don't. I think
players aren't going to go for the cap.
A strike is a very realistic thing from this. I get it. Listen, I've been a Cleveland Indians Guardians fan my entire life. I get it. In the 90s, we had a huge payroll. Lofton, Vizquel, Baerga, Tomey,
but
Bell,
they made
Manny.
money moves as well. Lofton asked for a contract extension, and they traded him. They wouldn't pay Albert Bell. He moved in free agency. They traded Carlos Baerga.
We couldn't sign Tomey, and he went. So, I mean, I get it. I do. But what I'm saying is we had our window of opportunity. We went to 2 World Series. We should have won 2 World Series, but we didn't. Now you fast forward to we have been competitive every year, it seems. We've got a few down years thrown in there, but for the most part, we've been really competitive. Now we're 54-54. We're 2.5 games back of a wild card spot. Yeah. I don't know if we can catch Detroit for the division. We could. Tigers could have another swoon. They did pick up Charlie Morton and some other folks.
The Mariners bought big.
Mm-hmm.
And they're one of the teams you're chasing. The Mariners bought big.
Yep.
They got Josh Naylor. They got Suarez. They bought big, and they're making a push, being on the back end of of the wild card, and then I believe the Red Sox did some buying as well. So that was
Yankees
the other part of it.
too.
Is
I mean, yeah,
they probably saw what those teams were doing and how much it was going to cost to make those kinds of moves, to make that push, and they didn't necessarily think they were going to be able to get there, or they're looking at the strength of schedule and they think that they can cruise to 30 wins for the rest of the season.
This is baseball. This has been probably one of the busiest trade deadlines that I can remember. We had trades popping off early, and then there was a bunch yesterday, and I was telling a friend of mine, I'm like, wow, there's been so many trades. I don't think there's going to be much to do tomorrow. And then today comes, and it's been Bieber's gone, Sewald's gone, this trade, and it's just ongoing. And then as we got closer to 6 o'clock, and we keep refreshing X to see if Stephen Kwan is still a Guardian or if he's traded, and if I have to go to Cleveland to burn the city down. He didn't end up getting traded, but
yeah,
and that's a relief. A flurry of moves.
But also, there were some reports that Zach Meisel had said that Stephen Kwan brought his agent into town today to in the event he did get traded. Did they talk extension? I guess maybe. There were some rumblings here and there that in the off season that an extension was close this past off season. You just freed up quite a bit of money for next year in $26 million by Bieber not being under contract and Sewald not being under contract. You are going to have Lane Thomas makes $7.7 million this year, not going to be back next year. You have Ben Lively, who would be in his second year of arbitration. I don't know what they do there with him rehabbing from Tommy John. You have Tristan McKenzie, who made $2 million this year, is under arbitration for next season. I don't know what they do there.
What's John Means making next year?
John Means gets 7.5, so that's an uptick of $6 million.
He would be a guy, folks. I'm going to say it now. He could be a guy to watch at the trade deadline next year. Just saying.
Well, hopefully
he's in our starting rotation and doing phenomenal.
Yeah, so. And you don't want to trade him, right? There's a couple more guys. Will Brennan going to be under arbitration. He needs Tommy John. So what are you going to do there? David Fry going to be under arbitration. Nolan Jones, are they going to keep him around? He's going to be under arbitration. My point is that there are several players that there's only a few guaranteed contracts, and then there's several players that are going to be under arbitration, but like half of them might not get tendered. And they might go, or if they do get tendered, it's going to be for minimum, like Tristan McKenzie and Ben Lively and Will Brennan, because it's a bunch of injured guys. Everybody else is pre-arbitration and are going to make about $800,000 for next year. So right now it's looking like that the salaries for next year is pretty minimal. Also keep in mind, Class A is due to make $6.5 million. If he's suspended, that's off the books too.
Yeah. What about Ortiz? What is he supposed to make next year?
Ortiz is still pre-arb.
No, so we're good there. It's all good.
So
if they announce a Stephen Kwan extension tonight or tomorrow, then that's going to be, that's almost as if we won a trade. Having Stephen Kwan here and not worrying about him leaving, that's phenomenal. I'll take it. That's great. Yeah, we need to worry about this lineup, and Stephen Vogt needs to figure out. I'm so sick of, the lefty's on the mound. Here's the lineup we're going with. A righty's on the mound. Let me move these guys around, and we got stick with who's hitting, please, for the love of God.
I mean,
stick Manzo in the lineup and let him play every single day. He needs to let him play. You find me somebody and you put him in right field and you don't move him. You put him out in right and you let him play. If it's Schneemann, great. If it's Lane Thomas when he's healthy, great. If it's CJ Kafis, who's currently tearing the cover off the ball in Columbus, knocking at the door, waiting for his opportunity, then you bring him up. You send Jonathan Rodriguez, because Lord knows why that man is still on the roster.
It's valid.
Why is Jonathan Rodriguez here?
Let's
I
see
don't
Petey
know.
Halpin.
Give me Kafis. Let me have somebody, please. And if we're not going to win, great. That's fine. I'll get over it if we don't make the postseason. But for the love of God, can we please put a lineup together that will score runs, and then the next night it's not a different lineup? Please. I just want some continuity. That's all I want.
Yeah. And I think we have to be honest with ourselves too, or about that. Injuries and the suspensions clearly derailed the expectation of what this season was going to be.
We did win 9 of 14 like somebody predicted. We did lose 10 in a row and then all of a sudden figured out how to win again.
And figured out how to hit.
Pretty decent schedule. We had the Rockies. Now we have the AAA affiliate of the Twins coming up.
Hey, Mike, I have a theory. I'd have to look to see when it happened and if the correlation matches. We lost one of our hitting coaches recently, and we called one up from AAA.
We did. He's an assistant, Junior Betances. He has been a career minor league hitting instructor, but he was called up to the show because somebody took a collegiate coaching job, I believe, and could have something to do with it, or we've played some really bad pitching. I don't know. I don't know. Could be a multitude of things.
But I think the DeLauder injury, the Brito injury, Andrew Walters injury, Sabrowski injury at the beginning of the season, like those were guys that you were at some point going to count on to be.
Brito should have been our starting second baseman. Yeah. I'm glad we found our starting center fielder in Angel Martinez. I'm happy with him. He can stay. But whatever issue we're throwing out in right field with Jones, Schneemann, John Kenzie Noel, Jonathan Rodriguez, can we figure it out, please?
We haven't figured it out since like 2014 with Chu.
I know.
There's been a different starting right fielder at the beginning of the season.
You could have had one at the trade deadline. You could have had
11 years. Yeah, who was it, Mike?
Who did you want?
Who did you want?
Jesus Sanchez from the Miami Marlins. He should have been on our team. He's a lefty hitting. He can also play first base, and he would not have costed you much. You could have had him in right field. You could have. Just saying, you could have.
And if he ends up being good or decent and DeLauder's healthy, you just trade him.
Exactly. Then you get something in return.
I am kind of at the point where I don't know if I'm going to rely on Chase DeLauder to ever be on this team.
He's got the Grady Sizemore syndrome. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. I think he could be really, really good. I do. I've seen him. I've watched him play at Lake County. I watched him play at AA Akron. He's talented. He is a very talented kid. He just can't stay healthy. You can't play if you're hurt. You can't. And that's what we're finding out is that he's hurt all the time. It's a back, it's a thumb.
It's kind of like a Espino,
it's a hamstring, it's a shoulder. Right.
We hear about
These guys
Espino.
have all the talent, potentials through the roof, but can't stay healthy. Just can't.
Well,
one more thing. I know we're getting ready to go,
okay.
but
One more thing.
we have one more thing. The GOAT, the icon, the man, one half of the greatest radio broadcast tag team in the world was inducted into the Hall of Fame on Sunday. If we don't give a shout out to the GOAT, Tom Hamilton, I will never forgive myself.
That's right.
Tom Hamilton won the Frick Award for the best announcer, well overdue, long overdue. He is now in the Hall of Fame. I know Jim Rosenhaus, a.k.a. Rosie. He's a return guest on our show quite a bit. We tried to get him for tonight. He's a little busy. I get it. Trade deadline day. It's also an off day. Man's got a life too.
He's got
can't
family,
hold him accountable for. He's got family, and we're gonna try to work something out. We might have a short pod with him if we can get him. over the next couple of days, kind of talk about this Bieber situation and
yeah. And for our new viewers, Rosie usually comes on in spring training, helps give us a little bit of a preview. Last year, he gave us a playoff preview as well, so we had him on twice.
Mm-hmm.
So he always gives great insight.
Us we got to go to the World Series with him if we made it, but we didn't go, so we didn't get to go with him. But it's okay. It's okay. We know that the offer's on the table, and I'm excited. I would love to hang out with Rosie any day of the week. Great guy. We do a lot on the MLB Guardcast. That's why we are so excited to be now a part of the Network 216. Shout out to Jared and the team, guys. Thanks for making us feel welcome. We're so excited to help you guys grow, us grow too. We're home, as Brian said at the beginning of the show. We're home, and we're so excited. So, Brian, where can they find you and us?
It's just Bryan Shaw on. We are MLB Guardcast on YouTube. This is going to be up on Spotify and on Apple coming up. And then we are also on the Network 216 channels now. Mike, how about yourself?
You can find me at Facebook, on X, and now Instagram at Mike Vorhies. Spelling's right there. We're so excited. Again, guys, thanks for watching. It's baseball season. Guards start again on Friday night. We got a AAA team that we're playing, guys, so it should be a good weekend. Weather's supposed to be perfect. Let's go. Cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. We'll see you soon. Don't worry. We're not going anywhere.
We'll talk to you again in about 2 weeks.